Welcome back to Find Homes with me. I'm Aaron, and today we're talking about the step-by-step process of buying a home in New York City. It's one of the biggest dreams and one of the biggest challenges for many people. New York isn't a place wide suburban lawns you see in TV shows. Here, co-ops, condos, and townhomes may look small, but their value is truly unique. Today, let's go step by step through the home buying process in New York City, helping you move from confusion to confidence. Step 1, get pre-approved for a mortgage. In NYC, most sellers won't even consider your offer without a letter. It shows that you have seriousness and that your bank has already looked at your finances. Talk to your mortgage lender or broker about your income, your debts, and savings. They'll determine what line of capital they can lend you for purchasing a home. Once you're pre-approved, you'll know what price range and what's your starting point. Remember, it's not just the purchase price you'll need to budget for, but also for closing costs, attorney fees, building application fees, and if you're buying a co-op, sometimes even a flip tax. So you gotta be realistic. Step 2, understand property types. Next, understand what you're buying, because in New York City, not all apartments are the same. First, we have co-ops, where you're buying shares into a corporation, not the unit itself. You are rewarded a proprietary lease on the apartment, but you will be a shareholder. You'll need board approval and they'll want to see your financials, and often 25% down or more is required. And you'll also need to do an interview. The process can take more than the standard 60 days, so be prepared to give yourself some time, as much as even 4 months. And note, co-ops can reject your purchase without disclosing the reason. Next, you got condos. You own the unit outright. The process is faster, but the price per square foot is usually higher. Similar to a co-op, there is a board package, but not all so strenuous, and they can't reject your purchase. They do hold a right of first refusal, which means that the board or another condo unit owner can have a right to purchase the apartment. However, this is astronomically rare to ever see. Lastly, you also have townhomes, total ownership and privacy, but full responsibility on the maintenance and repairs. Not so different than owning a single family home in the suburbs. Step 3 is hire a real estate agent and a lawyer. Now it's time to bring in the professionals. A good buyer's agent is your best ally. They help you find listings, guide you through building requirements, and negotiate on your behalf. An experienced New York City agent also knows the buildings that have the strong financials, which neighborhoods might be undervalued, and which listings might have hidden issues that may not be so noticeable to the naked eye. Your real estate agent may also recommend you one, but it's also good to identify a good real estate attorney who will be doing the contract and the due diligence on your behalf. Having one ready to go during an offer shows your preparedness and your seriousness. As well, you want to get your pre-approval letter. Not being pre-approved is a red flag, and many agents will not present that to their sellers. No one will take your offer seriously if you don't have a pre-approval letter, as that shows that you don't exactly know what your budget is. However, if you're buying all cash, this can be skipped and it makes your offers the strongest. Step 4. Starting the search. Now here comes the fun part, the house hunting. Explore multiple neighborhoods. And remember, a 1-bedroom in Manhattan might cost as much as a 2-bedroom in Brooklyn or in Queens. When you tour apartments, don't just look at the finishes. Ask about the building's reserves, the monthly maintenance, common charges, the assessments, and whether there are any upcoming repairs. Remember, a beautiful kitchen means nothing if the building is expecting a new roof next year. Step 5. Make an offer. Found one you like? It's time to make the offer. And your agent will compare recent sales in the building or in the neighborhood. And those are your comps. Comparative analysis report gives you the idea of what the market value of an apartment for which you are trying to offer. If a similar unit is selling or sold for around $750,000, you can expect an offer around $600,000 is not going to get you far. But it shouldn't discourage you from trying to negotiate, say around $730,000. Or if you really love a property, try to bid higher, let's say around $800,000 to just seal the deal. You'll submit an offer with your pre-approval letter and your financial statement. Negotiations can go back and forth a few times between both sides agree. Once accepted, the attorney review begins. Step 6. contract and due diligence, and financing. Once your offer is accepted, your agent and both attorneys start the attorney review. In most states, agents handle contracts, but in New York City, here your attorney does it. They'll also do their due diligence, which means they'll review the building financials, board meeting minutes, offering plans, and legal documents, checking for lawsuits, unfunded budgets, or anything that might affect your investment. A New York City real estate attorney truly handles a lot, so they're worth every penny. If you're buying a condo or a townhouse, be sure to schedule a professional home inspection. An inspector will check the structure, plumbing, electrical systems, heating, and look for any hidden issues like mold. Even in a co-op where the building handles major maintenance, it's still a good idea to check the condition of a specific unit. Remember, a co-op can't handle everything. Depending on the results, you might negotiate repairs or pricing adjustments. Once everything looks good, you'll sign the contract and pay a deposit. Step 7, the board package and the mortgage commitment letter. Afterwards, you continue your mortgage approval process with an appraiser touring the property to make their assessment and their own comps, just to make sure that the value is worth the loan. As long as it comes in at or above the sale price, your lender begins finalizing your mortgage and then will provide you a commitment letter. While you're doing that, you will also have to put together a board package. For either a condo or a co-op, you'll prepare a detailed package, essentially an application. Think tax returns, references, pay stubs, financial statements, even personal reference letters. Co-ops can require more details than in condos, but essentially you're doing the same for both. Once completed, it is submitted to the building's management transfer agent. They will review it and make sure that everything is in order. And they may request some tuning or some additional information. Once accepted, they send it off to the board for their review. If it's a co-op, you may be requested to come in for an interview before acceptance. The general rule of thumb is to give about 30 days for condos, and legally co-ops have up to 90 days to review it, but usually are kept around the 30-day mark. Once completed and fully reviewed, you will be issued a waiver to move ahead with the purchase. And by that time, hopefully, your mortgage commitment letter is issued, and then you'll be ready to close. Step 8, the closing and the move-in. After the board approval and your final loan commitment is issued, you'll be scheduling a final walkthrough and set the closing date. Also, a few days before the closing, the bank will send you a closing disclosure, CD. This document outlines your final loan terms, interest rate, monthly payments, taxes, insurance, and all the closing costs. Review it carefully and ask your attorney or lender if you have any questions. And then, at the closing, you'll also pay additional costs, like your attorney fees, titles insurance, mortgage recording tax, capital contribution, and NYC transfer tax. Typically, this is around 3 to 5% of the purchase price. Once you sign all the documents, finally, you have yourself a new home. Look, New York City home buying process can seem complex, and I just gave a very brief outline of it. But it's absolutely doable. With the right knowledge and the right professionals, you can make it happen. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, and turn on those notifications. But I'll be back soon with more information and more tips to help you navigate the New York City real estate market. See you next time. And this is Aria.